Broadcast is live.
Damn, he's not there. Damn, he's there. Okay, now I kind of want to see what it looks like. We're live on Twitch. Damn, he's not there. Damn, he's there. Okay, now I kind of want to see what it looks like. We're live on Twitch. Damn, he's not there. Damn, he's there. Okay, now I kind of want to see what it looks like. Hey, Daniel.
Hey. What's going on?
All right, so the Twitch comments come through on here. You can see I left one.
Okay, cool. Yay! Hey, James. All right, now we're going to go do what we normally do.
Can I delete my comment?
Welcome to episode. What are we on? 306.
306. It's right there in the back. I don't have to remember it ever again.
Listen, it's one of those weeks where we don't even know what's happening in the world because there's hockey being played, there's not being hockey played. I think Yash is watching us, so shout out to the cricket that's being played just in honor of him. Shout out to the people on Twitch. If you are watching us on Twitch for the first time, welcome. This gives you guys opportunity to actually chat with us. I know a lot of people were watching us on Twitter, and there was no way of the comments coming onto our page, so we weren't able to see them. Here's our regular
Shout out from my dad. Shout out
Pops.
Hi, James.
Gotta love it. We will get to that in a second. It's actually, we're going to start off with that. It is a sad moment to start us off tonight. Announced a little bit earlier via Adam Scheffler and the NFL. 85 years young, the great John Madden, arguably probably the best. That was the broadcast guy that we grew up with.
Right. I'm going to characterize it as the most influential football personality to our life between the video game and the announcing and just everything. Like the name Madden and his persona is up there.
Right. Obviously we're all the same age. Finn's a couple years younger, but just Madden is just it's just football, you know what I mean? Especially with our generation and our father's generation and everybody remembering him as an Oakland Raider head coach, winning a couple Super Bowls and retiring, then just pretty much going to the booth and then just being a smart businessman, basically the funny commercials with Tough Actin' Tanakin, like boom, like his just trademark booms and Pat Summerall, and you always knew it was a big game, like now how it is with Chris and Al, and it's Pat and John, and you're gonna be in for an awesome game.
Yeah, 100%. I'm also like you mentioned, the video game. That's basically there's no debate this offseason of who's going to be on the cover next year.
Right.
It has to be.
Oh, now it has to be him. Yeah, for sure.
It has to be him,
and it has to be better, obviously.
Well,
but
we've been saying that for the last 5 years.
He had nothing to do with that, fortunately.
I know. It's just one of those things with Madden, and like we've always a lot of people in our generation learned playing football because of the video game.
And
the amount of people that don't like football play it, like how us Americans play FIFA.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people all across the world. I'm not sure. Obviously, he's not watching tonight, but I'm sure if Gazman listens and watches us, he's over at Wales, and I'm sure that's how he got into slowly watching football. I would love to find out how he slowly watched it, but like I would assume someone in Wales or the UK, or matter of fact, the whole world. I'm sure Madden had a big effect in football, and even and Steve, to a point, are big listeners of Part of My Take. He is the ultimate football guy. He's like the top 2 football guy of all time.
Yeah.
You don't have a football guy without John Madden. So it's one of those losses, like like it hits you. So like we mentioned before, the chat is just like, wow, Madden died. And I also said in the chat and a couple other text messages, it's like weirdly eerie. I didn't get to watch it yet, but Fox did a 2-hour documentary on him last Saturday.
You know
And
what's
that's the
crazy about
weirdest.
it?
It's
Yeah,
like
it is
and
weird, right?
it's like
But
and it's like an obituary.
Yeah.
It's like a weird obituary.
They
and it's
even
just,
said in the report in the press release that it was unexpected, like he wasn't sick or
right.
anything.
That's the weirdest thing
well,
about
yeah,
it.
Just-
that. But also the other crazy thing is like I completely forgot that was on, so I didn't even record it. But I'm not worried about
Yeah.
finding it at this point.
Right, I actually DVR'd it, so
I'm not worried about finding it. I know I'm going to be able to find it. One,
Right.
two, and even my dad said it when I mentioned that he passed. Like, if you really thought about it, you may have thought that he was gone.
You know what the funniest thing
You
about
may
that?
have been gone a couple years ago, for all we knew.
2 or 3 people texted me saying that, and it's very weird. It's just because he just stepped out of the limelight, and
Yeah, he was so
everything
much
like
out of
that.
the public eye.
And I know it's not really a Giants-centric podcast tonight, but of course, me bringing up the Giants. There in the America's Game, or one of the Giants' history review videos, is Tom Coughlin getting a phone call from John Madden the next day after they lost to the Patriots, and how tough they played and everything else like that. So it's like he's just the ultimate football guy. And also a lot of Giant fans from the 80s and 90s. You pretty much know the Giants, like you pretty much like Brett Favre with Madden. It was be LT with Madden, and like you'd always see the biggest plays that LT makes is with Pat and John, just like how Brett Favre was basically John Madden's favorite player.
Yeah.
Shout out Chris. Apparently, Art Stapleton tweeted that they're going to re-air it on FS1 tonight at 9 p.m.
Okay, so
I
we
just
got to
hit
make sure we're off.
I just hit the record button. So
Yeah, I already have it lined up from Christmas Day. So,
but I'm sure
So
it's
there you
on
have
something.
oh, it's definitely on YouTube.
Probably.
Yeah, it was funny when I was just YouTubing John Madden. That was one of the top searches. So I'm assuming the whole thing's there. So sad news. Very sad.
Sad
Very
news.
sad.
Yeah. Crappy way to start the show, of course.
Rather talk about that than the Giants, though. Let's be real.
It doesn't look like it's going to let me actually record it, but okay, because there's something else located at that time. Anyway, with that being said, so are we crowning Zach Wilson the king of New York football now?
Wait, I have
he beat the Jags.
He beat the Jags. I have a slight. It's like a trivia thing. You brought up Favre, and it's sort of parallel to that. Okay, so on Sunday, Rodgers passed Favre for the most touchdowns. Saturday. Sorry, you're right. Saturday, Christmas. Rodgers passed Favre for the most touchdowns.
Doesn't even know when his own team plays.
So
Must be nice having a winning team and not care.
we'll get to this later for you, Danny. Talk about the Cowboys.
No,
Hey,
we're
man.
good. Nothing to talk
Hey,
about there. Let's talk about how
56
they make
points,
out
man.
after every touchdown pass.
Anyway,
And
so
somehow I still won my fantasy game. I don't know how that happened.
So somebody posted basically a chart spreadsheet of the number one, the passing touchdown leader for every franchise, and then second place, just because it's funny to look at the numbers. Obviously, they both have over 400 touchdowns. Who do you think? What team do you think has the least amount of touchdowns? That is their leader. If you had to guess,
Giants.
Oh well, we've
In
also been
history?
around 90. We've been around almost 100 years, so that can't be us.
it's not the Giants.
Phew.
Not the Giants.
The gap between 1 and 2 is kind of big for the Giants, though. Eli has 366.
And then Phil
Sims
Sims.
had 199.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an
So-
early in his career passing. That was
Okay. So what franchise has the lowest amount of passing touchdowns
I
as
would
number
ha-
one?
I'm gonna go. Are you counting all the teams? Because then you got to go Houston Texans.
It is not the Texans, and
I was going
that's
Jags.
counting every team.
I was going Jags.
It's
I don't
not
know.
the
Burnell had a
Jags.
lot of touchdown passes.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
did. I wouldn't. It's not a lot, but he is the leader. He had 144.
That's
Panthers?
the lowest amount for number one guy.
Panthers?
That's not Panthers. Where are the Panthers on this stupid list? Nope. Cam had 186. It's less than that. It's less
So
than
it's
the
less than
144.
144.
Yep.
Who has thrown for less than 144 touchdowns in their career?
Oh, this is a. But the Bears have been around for 100 years, so I can't say Bears.
Nope. Cutler had 154.
I was
Close.
gonna say Cutler was there for a long time. Elway was a Bronco, so they were automatically wiped off that list.
They're toward the
Montana was a Niner, so they're wiped off
With
that
Steve
list.
Young as well.
the
Steve
Broncos
Young.
have a funny gap though. It's 160 different. Elway through 300. Peyton.
Well,
is
then
number
it's
2.
Madden for that. Yeah, for that 1 year.
Yeah, Peyton threw 140 for those two.
All right,
Basically,
we got
those two seasons.
we got an Arizona guess.
Okay.
Arizona
I could see that.
guess.
I can
See
see
that,
that.
but they've been
Um,
around forever too, so that's the thing.
Nope. Somebody. So here's the thing. Their leader, his
Kurt
name is
Warner.
Jim Hart. Don't even know who that is.
Right.
He threw 209 touchdowns though. Good for him.
How many did Warner have?
Uh,
Warner's got to be number 2 on that list, right?
for the Cardinals. No, it's somebody named Neil Lamax. Lomax.
We're just gonna call it
Max.
Matt Liner. Didn't call it a day.
Sure, 136 that guy had. It's a recent
Liner?
No, it's a recent
Okay.
person.
Don't tell.
And it's not
You know
the
what's funny?
it's-
One team that we haven't mentioned yet.
Saints.
Okay, I'm not going to say the Saints because Breeze has over
Breeze,
500.
I know. No, I know.
My dad said the Ravens again. Again, very close, but Flacco has thrown 212 touchdowns.
Okay.
Lamar is number 2 with 84, so not great for the Ravens
That's
quarterback.
not a good. That's a.
But it's close to those numbers. I'll give you one more guess, and then I'll tell you.
Okay, repeat the question for the new viewers because we had a couple of new viewers that popped
New
up.
viewers. The lowest amount of passing touchdowns that is the leader career-wise for an NFL team.
Okay, my final guess, but I'm gonna get screwed because they took back their old stats. Am I onto something?
I
For
have
what
an
you're
idea
saying-
of where you're going with it.
What you're saying would be correct because Otto Graham is the Browns' leader. So nobody in the recent history of the Browns.
That's such bullshit.
It's dumb. The recent Browns would be the answer to this question. Steven, do you have a last guess?
I was gonna say the Tennessee Titans.
That's extremely disrespectful.
Steve McNair. I was just
No,
realizing
it's not. It's Warren Moon. He had 100.
that was
Yeah.
the key. Was it where did they have the Houston stats?
Yes.
Yes,
Be the
they
key
do.
to them.
The
Did we not
answer-
mention the Texans?
the Texans are in second place with 120.
With Schaub, right?
Yeah, from Schaub, 124, and Deshaun has thrown 104 already in his career.
I'm just saying, if he played this year, he would have been at the top of that
He
list.
would have been number 1. The lowest is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Jameis Winston, 121 touchdowns.
Who's
is-
2 on their list?
Brady.
Josh Freeman
Wow.
and his 80 touchdowns.
Brady's only been there, Danny. When you
The-
put all the numbers together, he's only been there a year and a half. Really,
infamous
No,
what is it?
but
Josh-
you would have thought
Josh
Brad
24,
Johnson,
24 years, 24
type-
games, 25.
Trent Dilfer,
Wasn't
any of
Rich
those
Gannon
shitty
there for a while?
quarterbacks.
Rich Gannon won the Super Bowl with them.
That was
No, it was Brad Johnson. He was the
Brad
Raiders
Johnson won the
quarterback.
Super Bowl. I remember
Yeah,
the oldest.
yeah.
Super Bowl
Gannon was
quarterbacks
on the
ever.
Raiders for that beatdown. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the other side.
That
of it.
was that. See, that was a good guess. Watch Brady 2 more years, he's gonna break the record.
right. Exactly.
So how much does Jameis have?
121. That's the lowest.
Okay,
Schaub
so
was
that's
124, so very close.
That's like a
Okay,
year
so-
away.
Yeah.
Interesting that the Texans didn't take. Oh no, the Oilers.
Well, they had
numbers went
Carr
to
for the
Tennessee.
first couple years. They did
He
throw the
got
ball with
sacked more than he
Andre.
threw the ball. He got hit a lot
But-
more than he threw the ball.
Right.
They
but
did
the
have
Tex-
Andre.
The Texans' stability with Matt Schaub for those whatever,
3
how many
years.
years he was there.
They were the South winners every year. You put
Right,
you
they
basically
probably
gave them that playoff spot
were
every
good
year.
5 years in a row.
Right. Andre
For him
When
to
they,
Johnson.
throw
when they had who was they had
124.
Andre Johnson, who was the running
Arian
back that they had?
Foster.
Arian Foster. He
Yeah.
caught a ball a lot.
Right. So it's like they had a good offense. They just couldn't, they would have to face a team from like the AFC North in the postseason. And
Right.
they don't play well together.
And nobody would be at the game because nobody realized that the week started at 8
That
o'clock on
4:30.
Saturday. Yeah,
4:30.
4:30 on Saturday afternoon. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's 6:30. There's a game on." Or shit.
ESPN would show the game.
Yeah.
Nobody would be like, wait,
Any
ESPN
other
doesn't.
good ones on here. Russell Wilson is the leader of the Seahawks. I was
That
looking at
doesn't surprise
active.
me.
But who was the quarterback? Zorn, right?
Warren Moon was there for a while.
In
Yeah,
Seattle,
but Zorn would have to be number 2, I would assume, right?
Dave Krieg has 195. I was just looking at
Sounds like
what
the
and
80s.
who's their the active people leading their teams. Cam technically, Matt Ryan.
Oh yeah. What's Ryan's number at?
It was surprisingly high when I looked. 365.
Okay. Well, he's been throwing it to Julio and Roddy
Yeah.
White, and he had how many years with Tony Gonzalez also in the middle there? That was
Dalton
again
is the
anher
Bengals-
team where you basically gave them a playoff spot on a yearly
Right.
basis.
But Boomer,
They
but
should've been.
Boomer had a lot of touchdowns. He did win that league MVP.
He's not
In
even
Cincinnati.
2. It's interesting. Ken Anderson is number 2. Dalton's number 1
Okay.
though, 204. Oh, Ben.
What about the
is
Jets?
Dak-
What's the
Philak
Jets
is second.
numbers?
The Jets' numbers are not good. Ken
Well,
O'Brien is number 2. He had 124. Namath is number 1, 170.
And Wilson has how many so far this year?
20. I don't know.
No.
Pennington can't be
No.
far. No,
There's
10.
no way he is.
No, it's like 10 because he was hurt.
Yeah.
Pennington can't be far behind these people. I don't know.
He has
The one
7
season with
touchdown
Favre.
passes.
The one season with Favre must have been top 5.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
here's a question for you guys.
That's
Okay.
the stats question for the day.
This is a good one.
We're getting our inner new Met assistant general manager in our.
Oh,
in our
we're getting
system.
that.
We will
Danny,
get
did you-
there in a second, but this is a good
Did
question.
you watch
for
that
guys.
video, Danny, with the Oscars analytics thing? There was somebody. They did a video about because you mentioned it in the text, but there was a video somebody posted about him talking about his Oscar analytics. thing.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. That interests me
Love
actually. Like, how do you have analytics about the Oscars?
I don't know.
That's
I'll
the
see if I
most
can find
random
it and
thing.
send it to you. Steven, go ahead.
Do you guys know Zach Wilson's middle name?
Is it McCorkle?
You want it to be McCorkle,
I-
don't you?
What is the most basic white guy name?
It's the
Colton.
most not basic white person
Well,
name
it's
of all
I don't
time.
know. It's the Mormon
Zach
thing
Col-
throws me off.
Capano.
Zachary Capano Wilson.
Okay.
Okay. How about
Just
this? What
like-
is Colt McCoy's first name? I didn't know that until a couple weeks ago.
Isn't it like James or something?
Daniel.
Daniel. That's what it is.
Oh, Lauren's here. We can sign off now.
See,
sign up.
Devin knew. Shout out Devin
Devin.
knows his quarterback.
Devin, we joined Twitch and you're finally watching us on YouTube. we joined
You
Twitch.
were the reason, Devin.
we added Twitch for you and you ended up joining YouTube. The most interesting stat that I found out today was the Notre Dame quarterback stat. Danny, did you see this stat from the day?
0-24.
Finn, a Notre Dame quarterback has not won an NFL game since Brady Quinn.
Are you joking?
No, 0-24. Makes a lot of sense because
DeShone Kaiser never won a game in his life.
No.
15. DeShone Kaiser.
He was on the defeated Browns.
Oh my god.
So Adam Scheffler had the picture and it says quarterbacks have lost 24 straight games, 4 by Brady Quinn, 4 by Jimmy Clausen. Remember when he was like the life and savior of Notre Dame football?
Yeah, he
I
was
do.
supposed to come save the day after Brady Quinn.
And then 15 losses by DeShone Kaiser, and now Ian Book has his first. Yes.
Yeah, he was in a tough spot yesterday.
No, granted, yeah, he was in a tough spot, but the fact that
Yeah, 24 games in a row, that's rough. Not a good selling point for Notre Dame.
Oh, that's right.
Combined-
Liam and Devin are in different houses. I forgot about that. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
So might as well start talking about college. It's a big weekend. Friday is 2 bowl games
As
of
of
the
now.
playoffs.
For now.
As of now, yeah. Right.
As of our recording on Tuesday the 28th.
It's big money.
Those you
so they're
can't
gonna
cancel.
play.
So they said that they would cancel those, but they've already scheduled a second date for the championship game.
Right.
So if Georgia comes down with a bunch, Michigan automatically goes to the championship game. They already made the announcement.
That sounds like
I don't think it's fair. I think you could just, you have a week to figure it out. And let's face it, the Colts have who's starting quarterback this week?
It would probably be the guy from Texas, Engler,
Right.
Ellinger.
I don't even know.
Colts quarterbacks. Because Wentz is out, they said, right? Sam Ellinger.
Well, yeah, he's not vaccinated.
He's not vaccinated, so
Yeah, he's out. And Vin, that's the guy who's starting is the guy who yelled, Texas is back.
Yeah, Ellinger.
all right. Well, then put all of the money you have in the world against the Colts this week.
That guy ruined Texas
If you're
football.
betting.
It was
guy
insane though how they were able to go to Arizona with no offensive line and still found a way to win on Saturday.
Arizona might stink.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet.
We're still working on it, but
I don't know. Is Kyler just Kyler hurt and that's it? Is that the reason?
Kyler's got that high ankle sprain, and you know how it is with those high ankle sprains.
But
it's been like 2 months already.
get
but
over
still,
it, bro.
It's still a
I know.
high ankle sprain.
Nagging injury all season, yeah.
I want to
rough
hear
one.
it.
Let's
Dev,
go, Dev. We're waiting for
I
this.
want to
Call-
hear it.
Have them join us.
Hold on, Dev. We're sending you a link. You're coming on the podcast.
If you want to come on, Dev, you feel free. If not, you can just comment your hot take.
There you go, Dev. You got the link to join
The
us
Cardinals do
directly.
play Dallas on Sunday, so
James, is that home or away? That's the big key. Oh.
all right. Well, I mean,
Technically, it's a home game no matter what for the Cowboys because the Cowboy fans travel to Arizona.
No, but Dallas
worse than New York.
But Dallas has the craziest stat differential though in the red zone.
Vincent, we're
is
starring
huge.
this. This is staying here forever. It's
It's
starred.
fine.
It's loved.
I
It's for when he botches his 2 top 5 overall picks this
what
year.
can I say?
And you get to laugh at him again because
Yeah, I'm punching so far down. I'm punching into the crust of the earth if I'm talking to Jet fans. So there's no reason. He can say what he wants. He knows he loves my quarterback, even though I don't even love him anymore.
Listen, your quarterback's going to be really good in the jet black uniform next year. Okay.
Oh no!
When you
please
swap
no.
Zach Wilson.
No.
Your first
Just-
2 picks, Zach Wilson for Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so, well, no. Here's the move that
You're
has
just
made
gonna
it.
throw this out there.
I don't think he's crazy if Carson Wentz is playing.
Listen, it's all about
See,
Tua.
the thing with him is Frank Reich knows him perfectly.
Right.
So they're mixing and matching. Obviously, the offensive line, if they get healthy, and they'll able to
Which
throw
is
the
just
ball
COVID, right?
just
It's just a bunch
enough.
of COVID, Danny.
COVID and a bunch
Yeah.
of injuries. Like
The-
3 guys went down.
The other thing about
Injuries the other night.
I don't know if
And
they're
then-
gonna. Go ahead.
Then Taylor's just should win the MVP this year, even though a quarterback's gonna win it.
Right.
Rogers already clinched it,
It's-
but okay. But no, I agree with you. But let's face
it's
the
a-
fact. Let's put the
But
facts out there.
Rodgers really deserved to win the MVP this year.
No,
The offense has not played into its
Right.
highest
He
potential.
hasn't had
Oh,
that
no.
one. He hasn't had that one game. Watch, he'll have it on Sunday or the following week. But MVP wise, I think if it wasn't for Taylor, they would be nowhere near where they are right now. And they have a shot of winning the
100%.
division.
both Rodgers and Brady would be the guys you'd give it to, but neither of them
Right.
have been overly spectacular.
Right. That's why the award is bullshit more times than not.
Right. The funny thing about Wentz getting COVID or going into protocol right now, if he's out the full 10 days, that is a good thing, is the unvaccinated rules, and I don't know if they're going to change this with the new stuff, is once you pass these 10 days, you don't get tested for 3 months. Because the
Right.
same thing happened with Rodgers. You don't get tested for 90 days. So if it is that and he has to miss a game, he's set the rest of the season. He doesn't have to worry about it. So, I mean, I guess that's a good thing for them.
And then their
what's the
defense,
Henry story?
and
Is
that
he
their
coming
defense
back?
travels.
So Henry could come back. I know he's talking about
Right.
he's calling Taylor Henry Jr., but Henry could come back. He's like they said 10 weeks and he got hurt like week 6.
But what he said up again? I didn't read it.
He's just talking about the Colts.
This is about the Colts.
Right. Right. See, it's like the Browns last year with going into Kansas City. They'll put up a game, but
Right.
Kansas City is clicking on all cylinders right now.
They have the formula to beat Kansas City. I just don't know if they're going
Right, they
to.
have the formula because A, they have a good defense, and B, they have the running game that's going to keep Mahomes off the field.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. The Browns.
But the other
almost did it
thing
last year.
is, if you notice when it comes to Taylor, a lot of these runs are big runs. So is he gonna?
But
get
he
one
is
of those...
mucking it up enough, though.
Right, he is mucking it up. You're right, 100%. But is he gonna get a couple of these 60, 70-yard touchdown runs, and that puts Mahomes right back on the field?
Right.
That's gonna
But
be
points
that's
are
gonna be the
points,
question when
though.
they match up.
Putting up 7 points is better than obviously not. That was my John Madden moment. Rest in peace. But yeah, I don't know. You can't worry about scoring too fast when you're actually scoring.
Right.
So if it was to end, if let's say they were not playing this week, okay? Here are your playoff matchups. You got the Chiefs off. The Titans are the champs of the South, and they're playing the Dolphins. You got the Patriots going to Cincinnati, and the Bills hosting the Colts. Which
See, that's a
Bills
tough
Colts right
first round
there.
matchup.
Yeah, they might lose in the first round.
Yeah, with the Bills, if they get hot and Allen's very inconsistent. If he gets a good game, that's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, but
The
here's the
AFC
other thing. Here's the other thing. Think back to the game where the Patriots went to Buffalo. What did the Patriots do? They let Allen throw the
I
ball,
know.
and they just ran the ball down the Bills' throat.
But it was snowing.
Well,
they lost
yeah, that
all
was-
advantage.
Yeah.
They lost any advantage they had with Josh Allen's arm. The AFC, you take the Dolphins out of it.
And that's a rematch from last year, if you remember correctly. So
The
they
Bills
did
played.
almost
The
win.
Bills went to the Colts. Went to
Oh yeah, because
No.
it was
Indianapolis.
No, it was
Oh,
it
the
was
Bills
in
hosted
Buffalo.
them.
Yeah,
it
because that was
yeah.
the first game they had fans.
Right. It was Rivers though at the time.
Yeah,
with the
that's what I'm
Colts.
saying.
Who,
With
by the
Philip
way,
Rivers,
they spoke
they
to
almost
apparently.
pulled it off.
They spoke to apparently today about.
They said the Saints talked to Breeze too. It's all nonsense.
Well, Blake Bortles is the answer. And
He should have been the answer. You see this with the way the Saints played.
cricket. Sorry, Yash wants us to mention the word cricket. Yash is from India.
Cricket.
Cricket. So there may be a cricket comment in there. But yeah, I mean, if the matchups happen this way, the Titans should run over the Dolphins.
Devin has a point there.
Please.
Belichick is probably going to eat
Belich-
Joe Burrow's lunch.
Belichick, you don't know. Nobody knows that Belichick actually lost the game against Buffalo purely to face Cincinnati in the playoffs.
Right. It was a purely matchup based thing. The other thing is the Patriots could miss the playoffs. If the Dolphins beat them, which I don't think is going to happen, if the Dolphins win out, they make the playoffs over the Patriots.
Right.
I don't think
Does
it's
this
going to
not
happen.
include these last week's games?
I can't really see it with the
Because it says week 16 matchups. The NFL just not update their thing.
No, that should be right.
It's very small.
Yeah,
so.
the Bills are there. Yeah, that's right. The Bills are winning the division.
Yeah,
but no. Oh yeah, they beat the Patriots. But no, because it said like week 16 matchup. So
maybe like post week 16. I don't know.
That's right. The Bills are division leaders.
Okay. Yeah. So the matchups are. I mean, do we want to talk about the NFC matchups a little bit too?
Well, I want to bring up one thing. This is really quick. I meant to bring it up before when we were talking about Rodgers. Not really rumor, but a potential move set came out this week from Peter King about the offseason plan. I want to hear everybody's thoughts. The proposed scenario is 2 first-round picks, a 4th-round pick, and Jerry Jeudy to the Packers. Rodgers goes to Denver, and then Denver also gets signed. They signed Devontae, and they take Nathaniel Hackett, who's our offensive coordinator, as their coach, and fire Vic Fangio.
A lot's going on there.
It's a lot. So you basically
I don't see the Broncos giving up Jeudy when they're going to be getting Rodgers.
Yeah, but if they're getting Adams, if they're going to sign Adams,
they get Adams.
Right.
It's basically a swap of him and Adams. If you think about it, it's basically
right.
picks for Rodgers.
I mean, if you're Buffalo, I mean, if you're Denver, you're doing it.
I think I would do it too. If we get to a point where that's you have to get something. I'll take 2 firsts and a good young wide receiver. And Denver would be Denver would be very good.
Yeah, that would be
For
the
sure.
Denver way of doing it.
What was the thing that I saw a couple hours ago? Here, this was an interesting one about what is this? I think it's the top 10 or 7. This is based on ESPN, right? So these are the 7 what they believe will be coaching vacancies in order of best to worst scenarios. Okay. So number 1 is Minnesota.
Yeah, they're gonna fire him.
Number 2 is Denver. Number 3 is Jacksonville.
That's the third most
sexy scenarios. The best way to put it.
Really?
There are only 3.
There are 3.
I'm
Carolina
surprised
4. Carolina 4. Vegas 5. Chicago 6, and the Texans 7.
I'd rather be Vegas's coach than Jacksonville's coach.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Who's your quarterback? Because they talk about Russell Wilson and the Giants, and I think if I remember, someone brought it up last week or the week before.
Snacks. It was a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, yeah. Carr could be available. He could be.
I guess that
his cost is going to be a lot less than Russell Wilson.
But I guess that if you're the coach, you work with the GM and you figure out if you want to keep him. What I'm saying is your quarterback situation with Derek Carr, as opposed to an already 1 year in the garbage of Trevor Lawrence, I wouldn't want the Trevor Lawrence. I'd rather take Carr and Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller, and I have some semblance of an offense, and I can just figure the rest out.
And a not terrible defense. Like, you got a good front defense. You got a okay defensive backside. So, shout out to Max Crosby for making the Pro Bowl.
Max Crosby.
So the NFC playoff picture is basically set, except for a couple teams, because somehow, some way,
the bottom
2.5 hours after the Giant game was over, the Cowboys clinched the division
Yeah, technically the Raiders game was the reason why they clinched it.
Apparently, there was some sort of strength of schedule based
Yeah.
on a
Yeah,
game that the
that's what it was.
Raiders played that they won and they
Right.
lost.
Well, our division played the West, so it was the Broncos and Raiders, so
Right,
something
and then
with
they
that.
played it. It was like it was a really weird scenario. So if it
Right.
was to end today, right now, the Packers are one, of course. Cowboys are playing the Eagles, so you're getting the NFC East
Ooh.
matchup. Rams will host the Niners, so you get an AFC West matchup, and then the Cardinals are going to Tampa to lose.
Oh, the
Um,
Niners are in the hunt, it said.
Yeah, the Niners are right. If it was to end, let's say there were no games this weekend, the Niners would be the 6th seed over the Eagles. So
Oh,
they
okay.
would play.
Yeah,
They would play the
That is a
Rams.
weird.
it's a weird way to
chart.
word it, but yes, those 5 have clinched playoff berths. Those 5 on the right.
Got it.
And it was random. Each of them was just like a random. The Packers were the only one that was just like a legit clinch.
I was gonna say this too because last week we looked up.
Well, the Bucks won. The Bucks were legit.
I know, but we looked up clinching scenarios last week and we couldn't find any, and then like 4 teams clinched, and I was like, "What? What happened to no clinching scenarios?"
Right?
Maybe
Hold
just
on,
nobody
I think
reported on them.
there was just something about that. There was just so many of them that nobody was able to figure it out.
I guess that's what with this when it gets to strength of schedule and that kind of stuff. It is tough.
So let's see clinching scenarios NFC. Okay, so we have a couple of scenarios.
I don't think
here.
anybody can clinch this week.
There's
you might
actually
be
a bunch. Here's a bunch. I got a bunch for you.
Really?
Yeah. So the Packers get a bye with a win and a Cowboy loss.
Okay, I meant playoff like berths, but yeah, this stuff can be clinched.
Well, the Eagles clinched a playoff berth with a win, a Viking loss, and a Saints loss.
Or a Niner loss.
Niner win.
Oh, a Niner win.
That's got to be a strength of schedule thing. And here, the Niners win and the Saints lose. Basically, if the Niners win, the Vikings lose, and the Saints lose, and the Eagles and Niners both win, they're both in.
Then
the
it's
playoffs
over.
are set in the NFC.
Right.
That sets the NFC. The Rams clinched the division with a win.
Division with a win and a Cardinal loss. There's a very good chance of that happening with Dallas playing to where they are.
Chiefs get the bye with a win and a loss by Tennessee. Bengals win and they clinch the division. Probably first time ever. Maybe.
We're gonna have to get to this after we do clinching scenarios. Obviously, it's the topic of the week with the Giants.
What are we getting to?
The bringing back of Judge and Jones and Saquon's
we can talk about
future.
that in a minute.
I know. Once we get
I got a comment about Saquon. Danny, I brought it up to you guys the other day.
So we'll go through the Giants.
So Tennessee clinches the division with a win or a Colts loss. The Bills have like 85,000 ways of getting into the playoffs.
Wow.
And
so they need to win, and Baltimore loses, and then
it's the easiest way in. That's the easiest way in this week.
The NFC is so much more easier.
Yeah, the AFC is
locked up except for 2 teams.
Mess.
The Falcons are out with a loss.
Falcons are done.
The Ravens are out with a loss. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Cleveland's out with a loss.
Yeah.
The Colts will be out of the AFC title. The AFC
contention
South title.
If they lose.
Right, but also if the Titans win, they win the division. So it's set up here. They won the division if they win. So that doesn't even matter. So if the Titans win, the division's out of reach anyway. Miami losing gets them out of the AFC East title. I think it said Buffalo wins and they clinch the division, right?
I think they need New England to lose too.
Playoff spot. So Buffalo wins out, they win the division. If New England wins out and Buffalo loses once, New England wins the division. They were talking about it during the game last week. It was on.
But are they both already have playoff berths?
No, they could both clinch playoff spots this week with just wins and Dolphin losses. So New England clinches with a win and a Dolphin loss or a Raider loss. Buffalo gets in with a win and a Raven loss.
Okay.
Anything AFC wise? Miami's got a bunch of ways to be out of the playoffs. Raiders also, and that's about it.
I'm stepping out real quick.
So the
Hold on.
Raiders win out. They clinch.
Bye, Danny.
Why Danny's stepping out? He'll be back. He's probably got dad stuff to take care of.
Dad problems. Nobody cares about those damn Patriots. Especially when you live in Florida now. Go root for your Bucks. Shout out
Shout
Johnny
out.
Podcaster.
Shout out. What is your Saquon comment? Well,
So it was brought up that what's his name? Jordan Randone, I think his name is, from ESPN.
that sounds about right.
Sounds give or take, right? Oh, we all know you were rooting for Brady. I sent it to you guys. Yeah, Jordan Rannon, from ESPN. He sent out the tweet, Saquon Barkley not making himself available after the game. And also not available on Monday to talk to media at all, despite request.
Okay.
Doesn't look good as a captain. And he's right. That looks drama queenish.
He's a captain?
He's a captain this year, yeah. Think about it, he's the oldest guy on the offense. Behind Shepard at this point.
That's a problem.
Minus a couple guys on the line. Minus Nate Soldier, he's the oldest guy on the offense. But it just doesn't look good, and he brought it up at as a captain, even all those years of shitty football when Eli was around, it was still Eli was the guy at the mic Sunday, Monday. Nobody else was available offensively. If the offense was bad, Eli was in front of the mic. Instead, we're throwing State Farm guys and long necks to the microphones.
Mike Glennon.
But still, he should be at the mic. If you can't go from Friday saying how I want to be here forever, this is where I want to play, to I don't want to talk to the media, screw them.
No, I agree. If you want to be a captain, you want to take on that role. That's part of the gig. But more importantly, I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think he's going to be back next year anyway.
I think it's going to be interesting to see if he comes back. The Judge GM Jones situation we'll talk about when Danny comes back.
Right.
There's no real how do you replace him? What are you gonna what's an improvement, because you bring anybody in, your offensive line is still terrible.
But he hasn't. The offensive line wasn't good 3 years ago either.
Well, I've said this for years. I don't like those every down running backs in college. I wasn't a big, even when they drafted him, I wasn't a fan of them drafting him. I thought you could have moved back. Could have gotten Quentin Nelson went a couple picks later, if I remember correctly, right?
That sounds about right.
Barkley draft. What year was that? 2018.
It was 2018, right? Yeah, because it was the Darnold, Baker, Josh Allen
Baker draft. Yeah. So here, you just look at it here we go.
I mean, the obvious answer is you take one of the quarterbacks. Now, it hasn't worked out with Sam, obviously.
See, even there, I would, if you weren't that big on the quarterbacks, you don't take one of them either. If you are so inclined to say Eli Manning is your quarterback going into this year, because that's basically what they said by drafting Saquon.
Yes.
Okay? Because they were super high on Herbert, which don't even get me started, considering we could have had Herbert the next year. So I remember correctly, Herbert went 10 and Jones went 6, if I recall, in 19, right?
That sounds right. If you scroll up on Wikipedia, the next draft is right there.
So if you're going to sit there and tell me that for 2018 or whatever year that was, Jones went 6 and When did the Chargers pick him?
I don't think it was. I think it was even another year. Oh fuck!
Oh, yeah, it was another year.
Devin's here. Steve, pay attention.
Fuck.
Hell yeah, I'm here.
We're talking about your great draft picks.
We have tremendous draft picks.
Herbert went 6 in
That's why we're the
2020.
successful franchise we are today.
Listen, I sent you a great video clip today of your amazing GM saying how great the Steelers would be with Aaron Rodgers.
Former GM. All right, former.
But all right, Dev, you could agree with me on this. If you were going to tell me that in 2018 you're bringing Eli back, fine, I'm okay with it, right? But
If
trade
you were
back
okay
and
with
draft.
it, yeah.
If you're okay, you know what? You're thinking he still has something. You want
I
the
think
one
that
thing
was
we
the-
were
I
missing
think-
the year before was a running game. We haven't really had one. We bring in instead of Saquon, draft the offensive line, trade back and draft me Quentin Nelson.
I
And
think
you have
the problem was
your left guard forever.
I think the problem was when they brought in Dave Gettleman, they didn't allow Dave Gettleman to just do whatever he wanted to do. They didn't give him the keys. I think Eli staying for another year was John Mara's idea. I think John Mara told Gettleman, listen, we're not drafting a quarterback. We're
Listen,
going
at the
to
end of
build
the day,
around
that draft
Eli,
class
try
was
to let him
bad
go for another
quarterback-wise.
year at it and try to get him another reign before he leaves and try to compete now. And I think that set them back where they are now. They should
In
have cut ties
2018,
with
even if you
Eli.
look at the quarterbacks,
Right.
behind
when you had that-
Baker.
even if you didn't choose Darnold, even if you could have
Josh
went
Allen
Lamar.
was the only other
You
one
could have
you
went
could have
Josh
chosen.
Allen. You could have went Lamar.
Still went Lamar. That was still an option.
Or you could have fixed the problem, which was the offensive line.
Again, Quentin Nelson went.
Quentin
In
Nelson
that
went
team,
right
though.
after Saquon. I think he went at 5.
Or
No, he went
the
at
other-
6. He went.
yeah, but the other,
he went a bunch
two
of picks
picks
later.
were Denzel Ward or Bradley Chubb. Those are two Pro Bowl defensive players. You could have picked one of them.
Right.
Right. Bradley
I mean-
Chubb would have been a great guy. But the only thing with Chubb, in my opinion, at that time was we were a 4-3 and he's a 3-4 linebacker.
Yeah.
He's a guy. He's got to have his hand in the ground or he's
for the
standing.
Giants. If they weren't going to take a quarterback, I thought they should have either took Quentin Nelson or traded back and got more picks because I thought they had you draft a running back when you're ready to compete. That's a finishing piece.
The year they drafted David Wilson, you're late in the draft, late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You're a running back away. You got an aging running back, so you're taking the next guy in.
Right.
Now, granted, he had the neck injuries. You can't do it. You can't predict that. But again, we were that running back away at that point, so that made sense. You don't pick running backs. And then again, back to my point from a little bit earlier. Again, being a Big Ten guy, I'm watching all those games. I'm watching the Big Ten all the time. Saquon was not just an every down back. He was the kick returner. He's the punt returner. So he's getting his body beaten basically
Right. He
7 plays in a row.
He was Penn State. Like, he was the guy.
Right.
But
So
it's
he's
just-
getting beating. And
if
then
you're
think
gonna
about
draft a
that
running
too.
back
4 years
that
of
high,
high
it's-
school.
If you're going to draft a running back at 2, he better be like the finishing piece for you to be a Super Bowl team.
We had
But,
to
like-
have traded up to get him because we needed that one piece.
Right. He better be like the finishing touch on a contending team, and he just wasn't. That was to think that team just adding Saquon was going to be a Super Bowl contender was crazy to think. But
And
I
yeah,
think
he had
that,
a great
again, I
year.
think that was also John Mara saying, you know what? He probably didn't love the fact that they benched Eli Manning and kind of like embarrassing to put in who was it, Geno Smith?
It was
When
Geno.
they
It was
first-
Geno
Eli
for one.
Manning.
Listen, just remember the team that drafted Geno, okay?
Listen, and then you guys benched your Hall of Fame quarterback or possible Hall of Fame quarterback. to play
Wait, can we
Geno
get a
Smith.
clip of that? Can someone cut that clip, please? Devin said Hall of Fame quarterback over there when he
Possible Hall of
mentioned.
Fame.
Possible.
Possible Hall of Fame.
Possible.
But in that group that he was drafted with, he's like the third best. But
Clearly.
yeah, I think John Mara really
He
screwed
earned
it up.
both rings. Just remember, he earned both rings.
I
Ben
John Mara
traveled
really-
to Detroit.
I think John Mara is to completely blame for the where the Giants
Oh,
are now.
100%. Sorry about
100% completely to blame.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. That's why.
John Mara's a schmuck. I'm just gonna say it.
Listen, at the end.
Yeah,
of
no.
at the end of the day, too, it comes down to again that draft spot, and that's really where, if you want to look at where does everything spiral back to, that moment.
Yeah, it all
Right.
starts there.
Yeah.
Drafting Saquon and going from there. has really just spiraled the franchise.
And again,
now,
it's nothing against the player that Saquon is. It's
No,
making
it's
a thing.
not.
You can't
It's
predict
never
the
been about
injuries.
Saquon.
they also have to
I've been
stop with
saying
the
that for
GM
years.
stuff. They have to stop with the GM stuff of like, oh, we got to promote from either within or we need a Giants guy. You need somebody that can actually just do the job.
I'm with you on that.
What's Sandy Alderson doing right now? He's just chilling out, doing nothing, right, for the Mets?
Yeah, see what Sandy's doing.
The thing
He
with
just
the
loves to just
Yeah,
put
like
his
if the
name on
Giants got
everything.
and hired Kevin Abrams and made
it's
him
gonna
the GM,
happen. Unfortunately, it's gonna
issue.
happen.
It's a big
So,
issue. That's a problem. You need
It's gonna
somebody
be.
with a different point of view and
I
to
agree.
bring in his own plan. But it's hard to bring in a GM now that you sat there and said, "Oh,
Right.
well, Joe Judge and Daniel Jones are the players next year," and that's the
Right.
you can't do that. You're
So
hamstringing
first
the GM
off, so
coming in.
so I'm gonna
Right.
start. I'm gonna go to that point now. And Danny, you missed it. I mentioned before. Devin's former great GM, Mike Tannenbaum, said today that the Steelers would be Super Bowl contenders with Aaron Rodgers. By the way, in case you didn't see
Yeah,
that.
I believe it.
Oh, shocking! The Steelers have a quarterback; they'd be a good team. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we
Would
doing?
Rodgers dance though with like after the first down with 20 seconds left, down 14 points? Would
There-
Rodgers
it
like
doesn't
He
dance?
would
matter
do the
who you
Antonio
are.
Brown twerk in the end zone after he scored instead of doing the discount double check.
Even if Devontae drops a pass, he gets mad at him.
Right.
If you guys are dancing, he's gonna kill somebody. He would murder people in this locker room.
It's so funny. I was mentioning this a couple weeks ago that I saw a meme before we get to the Giant thing. I saw that meme. It said that just based on Antonio Brown, Juju, and Claypool, I already hate the next drafted wideout by the
Yeah,
Steelers.
whoever it is.
I already hate that guy.
See, the thing with Juju isn't a dickhead. Juju just likes to dance.
He's just.
Big
You
TikTok
know what
guy.
they should do?
Big TikTok guy.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? Put him and Mahomes' brother and make that the halftime show at the Super Bowl. That'll get everybody to shut the game off.
So yeah, what did I miss about the Giants?
Okay, so basically we were talking about Saquon. We basically just ranted about how everything spiraled from Saquon.
Right.
But back to the point of the Judge and Jones idea. One, the draft class this year is terrible when it comes to quarterback. So
Which we knew.
fine. I'm fine with you saying we're gonna bring Jones back, but we're not picking up his option. He's got to earn it.
Right.
Let him earn it during the
We've been saying
year.
that for months.
Right.
but
Let
do you
him earn
think
it because you don't really. There's nobody really to replace him unless you're
I don't
getting.
think there's any QB in this draft that's worth
For
a
Jones,
first-round pick, or
yes.
especially a high first-round pick.
If
Unless
anything,
something
if-
crazy happens.
the
Right,
only
but,
way
like-
I'm not overpaying for Russell. I'll underpay if it's for Carr, but that's it.
Right.
Other than that,
but
I'm
that's
not
what
trading
saying,
for
like, is
Rodgers.
Him saying that Jones coming back, does that mean that eliminates you from a Russell Wilson, a Derek
Oh,
Carr?
it shouldn't. It absolutely
It
shouldn't.
shouldn't.
Is that they're thinking like, well, we're not going to spend
What's
major
10
draft
touchdowns a
capital on their
year? I
quarterback.
like Jones, but 10 touchdowns a year.
You know
being
what
allergic
that is.
to the end zone. But
You know what that
at
is. That
some
comment
point-
is simple. Hey, Daniel, right now you're my quarterback. Here's your confidence.
At some point,
Here's
he needs to play.
your confident ticket. But guess what? This is still a business.
What does it matter if I'm trading for Derek Carr? I don't care about his confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but
in
you're not
Vegas.
gonna publicly come out with the guy unless that trade is already done and you know about it. You can't
but you
publicly
did, I don't
come
think
out.
he needed
I'm
to come out
sorry.
publicly and be like, yeah, he's my guy next year.
At
You could have
at
just left it as what it is now. We'll see what happens in the offseason.
at some point, he was a 6th pick overall of the NFL draft. And yeah, the offensive line sucks and the coaching, whatever, everything else sucks. But at some point, he has to be able to be that 6th pick overall and actually carry us. I know the cards are not decked up for him, but at some point, he's just not getting it done. Like, it's his last year regardless. And if we were able to get a better option and they don't take it within a reasonable offer, shame on them.
Well, to me, he's Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
He's Sam Darnold. He was your Sam Darnold, and I thought after this year it might be a good time, even if it's just to move on and you start a younger guy for the season, or you just have a placeholder until next season. You could have a placeholder until, because next draft you got that kid from Alabama coming out.
Bryce
You got a bunch of guys coming out
and
next
you got
year.
a bunch of better guys coming out that could be a difference maker for you guys.
Right.
So it might benefit you guys to start tearing it down now. Have another bad season, but at least you're set up to get a future quarterback.
See,
'Cause-
the thing with Judge, I have been a big Judge supporter since day one. But the thing with if we want a legit, real general manager search, we shouldn't hamstring the guys coming
Right.
into the interviewing and saying Joe Judge is our guy. It
Any
shouldn't be that like that.
respectable GM
And that's
that
and
wants
that's why our organization is broken right now.
right. Any
Like
respectable
if they
GM
want to
can look at
hire
that.
Judge, if they want to keep Judge, fine, great, fine. It is what it is. He comes back for year 3, and if he sucks, you fire him. Fine.
Right.
But I want the general manager to say it. The problem is the Giants are such a clusterfuck right now that is whatever general manager brings them in, no one's gonna believe him. That Joe Judge was the guy for him. So
the bigger thing is also with Judge, in my opinion, is when he came in, he started mentioning guys that he wanted, and the front office said no. Here's Jason Garrett. Go figure out your offense.
I mean, don't even get started on Jason Garrett. I pulled up the stats so you could see. Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are eerily similar. Obviously, Daniel Jones can run, but besides that, it's very similar stats.
So the other thing is you gotta let him bring in his guys this year. Let Judge bring in who he wants to coach.
He brought in Graham. He's
right.
Brought
then he
in
bring in Garrett and whatnot too.
He didn't bring in
Garrett. Garrett was handed to him.
Yeah, Garrett and Colombo were the only guys that were given to him. Everybody else has been Judge picked.
But I do think that this past draft for you guys was more of a Joe Judge draft than it was a Dave Gettleman draft.
I agree with that.
So I think like he already started doing that whole thing. So maybe that's why they're kind of like saying, oh, well, we're going to give him another year to kind of execute his plan. But to me, like you bring in a GM and you tell him, listen, this is the coach, this is the quarterback, is what it is. You're kind of doing what the Jets did when they hired Joe Douglas was, all right, well, you're with Adam Gase now. And, you know, I feel like to get it right, you need to have the GM hire the coach, and then they both pick the quarterback, and they're all on the same page on what they want to do, what their plan is. The Jets finally kind of have that now where they got the GM. He went out and grabbed Saleh. Saleh and him and LaFleur agreed on Zach Wilson. Whether it works out or not is remain to be seen, but at least they're all on the same page. I feel like you're going to get a GM that might not really want Joe Judge, but I'll take the Giants job because it's the Giants job, and I can try to turn them around and see what happens. But it's tough to be on all separate pages like that and try to find a perfect match. It's hard to do.
I know how excited Devin's going to be by what I brought up because my Walter football site has their too early draft.
Why are we?
We're drafting Bryce Young already? Oh my god!
Like Zach Wilson hasn't even had a chance yet.
I want to die. I want to die.
You're telling us how the Giants should wait to get Bryce Young, and this site has the Jets taking him. And that was the greatest thing I've ever read.
All the time. And I sit there, and I'm literally, my life is that SpongeBob gif where I'm Squidward staring out the window, watching everybody else watch real football, and I have like, I watch these games. Like I watch the Chiefs play, I watch the Buccaneers play. I'm like,
it's a completely different sport.
Yeah, we're not playing the same sport. My team looks like they're playing cricket compared to what this team's playing.
Hey, shout out Yash if you're still watching. We got a cricket mention.
Back to the Judge thing, and I got vindication for me from Carl Banks, the Banks Papa podcast, whatever. The thing with Judge, it's very weird. He has it, but for whatever reason, it doesn't translate from practice all week. Then game day, it magically, for whatever reason, it's like they over prepare. And then everything just goes to shit, and you just completely forgot everything you prepare for. And like players are doing undisciplined things, the coaches are calling dumb timeouts. Like those are the stuff that you're gonna get fired for, and it's just a weird situation. Like if you hear Joe Judge talk like his coaching show and all the other things, you know he's a smart football mind. And
I feel like two of the best minds in the sport.
And like that's the most difficult thing with Judge is we're gonna give up on that so quickly is a little disheartening for me. But if it's a legit GM search and he doesn't want Judge, then it has to be done. But that's the only thing. Judge has to simplify things next year if he comes back. If he doesn't, he's out of a job next year. That's plain and simple.
You can't have your head coach be a special teams coach and get the effort you got on that punt when the guy just stopped.
All right, timeout. All right, but the thing with that punt is he was the first guy, would have been the first guy to touch the ball, and he would have gotten the penalty anyway.
He was out of bounds?
Yes, if you
Okay,
watch the
I
clip,
didn't see that
he's
part
out
of the
bounds.
clip. All right.
Yes,
it
at
looks
first,
bad.
it looked bad. The optics were bad. The players were saying, "What the fuck? Why didn't you go
Right.
it?" I said it watching the game as
Children's
well.
show, Daniel. God.
And then when you
See-
see the play, would have been he was running out of bounds, and then
The
that
other
happened.
thing is, I mean, when we've talked about this, why are we hiring in house when we've been a disaster for a decade?
It's
Right.
There's no reason.
it's and Zach Rosenblatt from NJ.com wrote a awesome article today about the Maras and just how crazy nepotism is running rampant
I'm
in the
surprised.
organization, which we knew about.
I'm surprised Tish hasn't stepped in yet and been like, "Yo, like,
See, that's the thing.
where's my money going? Like, what are we doing?" Like,
You would think that. You
like,
would
I
think
know
that
John
for
Mara is like more of the football guy, and Tish is just like kind of a money guy. But you watch and you go in there,
Yeah.
it's like, what am I investing my money into? Like,
See,
we're trash. Like,
This is like
he's hinted at times, like with the coaching searches and stuff, they've hinted, but it
Right.
wasn't stern enough, which it really should be. And if it's really back to the 70s with the Giants, they're sinking, man. It's the Jets
mean,
and Giants, and everybody else is playing a different
the
sport.
Giants thinking of like, oh, we need to
Oh,
hire.
yeah.
Like, they're going to promote Kevin Abrams up. Them
Oh, yeah,
bringing
they-
back
oh,
Joe Judge
100%.
and Daniel Jones tells me right away that somebody within the organization is going to take over
It's
as
gonna
GM.
be him. We knew that.
But they got to really let go of like the Giants way. Like, you got to let it go, man. You got to think outside the box because it's not working. If you're in the same breath as the Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars and those teams, you're in trouble. Like, you're in trouble.
Right.
You need to change something because things are going south.
The Giants need their moment when Scott Malkin shows up and goes, "Wait, you're keeping these guys? No, goodbye."
Right. You need somebody
Goodbye.
to come in there and be like, and just clean house.
Like, the offense is such a joke that honestly, Andrew Thomas is the only guy that I'd be like, okay, he's staying, and literally 10 other guys are gone.
If I'm a Giants fan, I'm doing backflips that Andrew Thomas looks good
Right.
because last year it was looking dicey. And
Yeah.
You know what it comes down to last
for you
year?
guys.
If you think about it, that guy came right out of college, no preseason games. He got no feel for it.
And he was
struggled,
banged up.
and
But
he
was also
gained
like,
his
he was the
confidence
first
as he
offensive
kept
lineman
playing.
taken, right? He was the first offensive
He
lineman
was.
taken. So, like, if he didn't hit, kind of thing, it would have looked not only bad on Gettleman, which I don't think Giant fans care about anymore because they want Gettleman gone head first.
We haven't cared about Gettleman
In all fairness, we all watched Gettleman sitting there in his house by himself with the mask on.
Yo, his thick Boston accent would drive me nuts as a Giants fan. It would drive me nuts. That guy sucks. When
Yeah,
he
Everything
talks,
he
oh my god.
says,
And
is
it's
just
so
terrible.
like it's such a harsh Boston accent too. Like it's literally like, oh, we're the Giants. Yeah, we're Boston Harbor and my Tatis. Like, oh my god, shut up. Shut up. Like,
Yeah, it's not fun.
awful.
And then, thank God there's 120 minutes left of the season. That's all I got to say to that.
Trust me, I'm a Jets fan. I count down literally the minutes every year.
I'm already doing mock drafts.
I was looking at mock drafts literally at the beginning of the season. I'm like, who looks good? Because I know what's going.
Listen,
I know
I'm already on next
5,
year's.
top 10 pick. Who
Not
looks
even
good?
this
No.
coming year. Dev, we're already scheduled to draft a quarterback for you. It's okay. We're already getting rid of Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson's already gone after next year. Apparently, that's it. Let me tell you something.
wild.
If Wilson's
At least
gone
he gave that
after-
nice lady at the diner the tickets the other day. Okay.
That was a
Yeah.
nice move.
Let me tell you something. He had a good run though. That 52-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, the Jaguars didn't want to touch.
Didn't
that
wanna
was
touch
The
funny.
Jaguars were like, wait a minute, we want that first pick again.
Yeah, they're like, hold on, let's stop. Do you know Trevor Lawrence hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 8 games?
I believe it.
8 games. He's gone without throwing one touchdown pass.
Do we think? Are we almost at the level of, or do we give it next year to start questioning Trevor Lawrence?
I think you give it till next year because with Urban
You have
Meyer
to.
and all that.
With
kind of-
everything
you
that
got- I mean,
happened
you
this
have to.
year.
You can't even. If you start like, I'm low on Zach Wilson right now. Like after watching him play this year and stuff, like I'm low on him right now. But like, you have to give it next year too to make like your final decision, I guess, in your mind. Like if next season Zach Wilson is what he is now, and Trevor Lawrence is what he is now, I mean, in your mind, you're like, well, this is a bust because there's no way there's going to bounce back like this. Usually when you get glimpses, like when Joe Burrow, like even though he played like a certain amount of games, he still had games where you're like, damn, like this guy is a dude. He's a good quarterback. And like,
and it all
you
came
don't
out
get those
last week.
glimpses yet from Trevor and Zach. You get like a play here or there. You don't get like
The run you just talked about with
really
Wilson.
killing it.
With Wilson, the run that he made.
Well, the Titan game, that was Zach Wilson's flash.
Right, the one game he had, but even that game, no, he had one good half.
Yeah.
The first half he sucked. So it's like
Trevor-
he's yet to put together like a full game of just being a dominant good quarterback.
Yeah, we haven't had that one game with Wilson yet, unfortunately.
He had that half with the Titans.
9
That one
touchdowns,
throw.
14 interceptions. I'm surprised that Trevor Lawrence is throwing for 3,000 yards, but yikes.
Who is he throwing it to? 3,000.
Laviscus Chenault.
Laviscus.
Yeah.
So
they
yeah,
had they also had the running back who just tore his ACL the other day too.
James Robinson?
Yeah, then he tear his ACL against the Jets.
No,
So you
well,
could
no,
chalk
they-
that up to another
I
ACL
don't
torn
know.
at MetLife Stadium.
no, I thought it was Achilles. Like Shepard.
Achilles.
One of those. One of those.
Just keep marking that torn
Did we
ACL thing.
I think we lost Devin.
I don't know what's
think
going on
he's-
with Devin.
Texted.
Tell Lauren to go to bed and leave you alone. This is man time.
I've been away from Lawrence since Friday night.
Are
How's
you the
vacation?
reason that she convinced herself to continue to isolate till the end of the week?
No, it was her idea. She was like,
You have Summer? Who has the dog?
He has.
he's
Yeah,
asleep in the other room right now. But I'm going back to work tomorrow.
Okay.
She's back.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It's a problem. What is
You know,
Christmas Eve
that
have to do with
morning-
anything?
You know that morning text message of what day it is? It's really disappointing to wake up to.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just like one morning I'm gonna open my eyes, it won't be there. She's gone. Good to go. Look at the bright side. Now you don't have to sell your hockey tickets for tomorrow, Devin.
I mean, hockey doesn't exist
Thursday,
anymore.
probably. I mean, I don't know why the NHL hasn't, like, at least a week or so ago, just stepped in and been like, yeah, 2-3 weeks shut down. Let's just wipe it. Because at this
Listen,
point,
it
you're
worked
just
out really well a
we're
couple years
canceling
ago when we
basically
did it
every
for us.
game that comes by. Like, literally, everybody's just canceling their games. So might as well just shut it down for 2-3 weeks and call it a day.
Way to go, Dev.
Ouch. Devin, I thought you ate dinner.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
in the
not
middle of
coming on
eating
'cause
dinner. I have my dinner in front of me. I keep pitching and eating off camera.
All right, if you want, you could get off if you want to eat.
Well,
we got to go with the picks
I
now.
wanted to talk about your Giants and find out your opinion.
Wonderful,
But-
Giants.
I will be tuned in still. Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Screw New York football.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least you know what though, we'll have an exciting draft because we'll be picking like 4 times in a row between our teams. So
We're gonna do that.
Well,
We're gonna do this for the draft.
The Seahawks screwed us the other night for that to happen.
Yeah, and
my Seahawks, I love it. There's nothing. That
Don't
makes
worry,
me
the Bears-
happier than
Bears-
watching
the
Jamal
Bears are gonna-
Adams be like, "It's all right, bro. We're dogs." Like, thanks for the first rounder, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the
From-
greatest trade of all time.
Oh, it's so nice watching the Seahawks lose because he was so. It's just the fact that he was talking all this shit when he left, and now they're as bad as the Jets are right now. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely set this up. We're gonna do this for the draft. We might as well just stick for the first 10 picks together because
Might as well. We're gonna be pitching half.
it's gonna be the New York draft.
Pain.
Where is the draft this year? Vegas? Is it in Vegas?
I think it's Vegas.
Yeah.
Should we do a Vegas
was
draft? We should do a Vegas draft.
I'm
Lauren, we're
not
taking Devin to
listening.
Vegas.
You want to go to the draft and we'll just sit in the crowd and stuff?
We'll just do
And
this.
do
in the
this.
crowd.
do this in the crowd.
Yeah, we'll just do this in the crowd. We'll
I
line
just-
up
I
chairs.
just
We'll
pray
sit in
to
all
God.
4 separate spots. We won't sit together.
No,
Like, all
go
4
on
sides of the
stream.
building.
Listen, we have to isolate from each other. COVID.
I just
We'll wear masks
Yeah.
and
All
everything.
different vantage points and everything. It'll be great.
I know it's gonna be Abrams, but I hope the next Giants GM is competent.
No, it's gonna be.
We're
Abrams.
gonna
You
catch
guys
a
are-
lot
you
worse
guys are
than
in
the
trouble.
coronavirus
It's all right.
in
Listen,
Vegas.
Jets and Giants football are not gonna be good for another 5-10 years. While Vin,
Listen,
I'm
at this-
sure they'll get rid of Aaron Rodgers and somehow discover the next Aaron Rodgers because that's just what Green Bay does.
Jordan
You know
Love,
what's
baby.
You know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. they're gonna sweat with Denver. You remember that that trade you talked about earlier? You're gonna get Drew Lock in that also. He's gonna be the next greatest quarterback of all time.
What if Green Bay goes out and gets Deshaun Watson?
But then all the legal issues come
The
into play, so
saddest
then
thing
it doesn't
is,
matter again.
it's won 2 Super Bowls in 30 years.
It's true. 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks,
Yeah.
2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, we have the
I
same
mean, I
amount in
can't
that
talk
time.
much though because I haven't seen 1 Super Bowl. So honestly, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Danny, we
I
have
know.
the same amount in the same amount of years, so it's okay.
I told Vin this year, bro, I just want competent football. I wasn't even putting a win total on it. I looked at him, I was like, listen,
No.
just don't make me turn the game off after the first quarter.
But you
And
don't.
now,
You still torture yourself with watching
Red
it.
Zone on. I just throw Red Zone on, so I don't even watch my team like fully anymore. Cause just
I
What's the
didn't
point?
turn off the Giant game until the pick 6.
it's so
I
hard
had
to
Braden's
watch.
second
the Jets.
birthday, so I didn't even watch the Giant game.
And now we're all like the COVID like out. We had like 20 players or 22 players on COVID last game. Like it was just
Yeah, but you won.
Yeah.
great.
Mercedes Lewis has COVID. It's going to be a
Cool.
tough week this week.
Wonderful. What's our
Yeah.
whopping win total to 4?
So I'm not gonna text you, Vin. LOL.
You won't text me unless Mercedes Lewis is vaccinated. I don't know, but he apparently is on the COVID protocol.
You'll be
right?
That's
very
my-
happy to know, Vin. This week is another week of a wasted $120.
Because Sunday Night Football. I don't use this. I watched Red Zone on the thing for like an hour this week, and I was like, I'm just gonna put the Giant game on because there's no point in me watching.
Yeah, but
the
did you
other
really want to
nonsense.
watch that Giant? When I'm getting
No.
the text from Eagle fans and being like, "You're the luckiest person in the world not watching this shit."
Once it got a blowout, I actually turned the thing back on and put the Patriot Bill game on. But for the most of the part, I haven't used it.
Yeah,
All right.
Like
only Red Zone.
I'm just broken. Like there's no point of getting mad. There's no point
This
of
week I'm gonna get
freaking
even.
out.
You're gonna get even worse, Danny, because we're playing the Bears. So we don't even know if it's gonna be good or bad if we're winning or losing in this game.
Doesn't
Right.
matter. You just
Because if we but if we win, if we lose the game, then the
The
Bears are gonna
Cowboys
keep
scored
falling
more
backwards.
points in one game than we have basically the whole entire season. So
That is true.
let's put that into
That might be a real
fact.
stat. That might actually be a real stat.
that's a fact.
Well,
actually.
at least a month. It's been at least a month. It's that.
What is it? The Giants have only scored 30 points in how many games has it been
10
since you guys
years.
scored 30 points?
They haven't scored
In a
30
game.
points.
It was like
3
last year though. Last year, you guys scored
Kerry
30
Collins
points
was
in
the
games.
quarterback.
It's been like 20 something games since you guys had a 30-point game. I think.
We were 29 this year.
Was it Jones' first game? That's it, right? That
Yes.
game in Tampa.
I was there. Yep.
Was that it?
That was. I think
So
that's the
it
last
has to
time.
be. It has to be.
That was like 3 years ago.
It sounds about right. It's like watching a different sport. Like
For
you
reference,
mentioned, Devin.
The Jets did score 30 points once this year.
We did.
At
It
least.
was great.
Oh
It
no!
was a good time. It was a good
Like,
time.
it's
We
funny
lost,
watch-
I think.
Like it's the funniest thing watching weekly. Like, oh, the Giants' offense is 30th, and I'm like, there's 2 worse teams than us.
Do you know how infuriating it is to watch your young quarterback not play as well as a guy
Well, at
named
least
Mike
you
White
have that.
or
At least
Josh
you have
Johnson?
that. We have
Yeah,
Mike
I
Lennon
think
right now.
Mike White didn't score 30 points. I think he did too. He might
Mike
have.
White threw for 400 yards and,
Mike
and
White.
3 touchdowns. And Johnson threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and a half.
Jake Fromm couldn't even give us our Mike White moment. What a shame.
Listen, I don't know why you guys keep starting Mike Lennon, but just give it to Fromm. Just even though Fromm couldn't even make
At
it
this
through
point,
the
let's
game,
just play-
let-
let's just
let
play
Fromm
Wildcat.
run it out.
Let's just put
Let
Saquon out there
Saquon
and
play
hike the ball to
quarterback.
him and see what happens.
Honestly,
Snacks
let's Saquon
actually.
do the Wildcat. Let him just
No,
Wildcat every play.
I raise you Saquon. I honestly think Kadarius Toney could be a better quarterback than both
Sure.
from England.
Listen, we traded the best quarterback on the roster when Eli retired, and that was Odell Beckham.
That's true.
We traded him away. Haven't had a decent quarterback since Eli retired and Beckham got traded.
At
Where's
least
Brad
we're
Smith
all in the
these days?
same boat, except for Vin, because fuck that
God
guy.
forbid.
But we're all in the same boat of being miserable.
You know what?
Football
And
fan.
you know what? When we have to console him after he loses the NFC Championship game to Tampa again,
When he's down and out, and I got a text and be like, "Hey, you all right, buddy? Is everything going well?"
yeah, make sure I'll never
Not this
forget
time.
sitting
Not
there
this
during
time.
this. I
Not
remember-
this time.
Oh, because being at home last year was real helpful.
Last Dance.
Last year being at home was real helpful for you.
Last Dance. No, we're not kicking field goals this year. Last Dance.
Yeah. Last Dance. Okay. Well, anyway.
Devin's been waiting for Brady's last dance for 20 years.
Yeah. I've been waiting for this guy to break his leg or something, and nothing.
He
got
did break
it.
his leg. He came back and won a Super Bowl.
Tom
got it.
Brady looks younger than he did when he was drafted. Like, this guy is never going away.
He's a
The
clone.
guy's going the wrong way.
He's
in
gonna
age.
win. He's probably gonna win MVP this year, if not him or Rodgers, one of the two. But
We said Taylor.
We said it should be Taylor because
it
neither.
should be Taylor.
Yeah,
but the
it should
fact
be.
of the matter is that he's a running.
It's gonna.
back.
Right.
That's not
It's gonna be the other two.
They're gonna give it to either Brady or Rodgers.
Yeah.
Even though I
Let's
firmly
might as
agree
well
it
do
definitely should
picks
be
with
Taylor.
Devin since he's on.
Dev, you want to do picks with us?
What do you want to eat?
Oh,
I'll do a pick. We're doing picks for the week.
Yeah.
yeah.
I need number. I don't have any of the numbers or anything.
We'll-
You
we'll
got
tell
the board
you.
for me?
We got you. So no more Thursday. No more Thursday, no
Oh,
more
that's
Saturday.
sad.
No more Thursday, no more Saturday.
That is sad.
January. It's supposed to be playoff weekend, but here we are. Waiting 2 more weeks. Um,
Oh Jesus. 14 and a half.
they
Bro,
almost
that's
lost
nothing,
to the
bro.
Lions.
I think the Jets had like 18 at one point.
Yeah, I'm going with Falcons. That's too much.
The Falcons
Bills
are
at
like
home, chance to clinch.
awful
playoff spot.
against good teams. I'm gonna take the Bills.
I'm gonna go with the Bills on this one.
All right.
take the Bills
We're
also.
winning this week. We're winning this week. We're picking back to back. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't know.
Is Foles
going-
starting?
I'm going Bears.
Yeah, I think Foles is starting. I would assume.
I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going Bears.
Ugh.
Just get us a top 3 pick.
We're not getting a top 3 pick. Houston
Yeah, I know.
just can't even lose to Houston.
I'd say Kansas City.
For sure. This is a
Yeah,
low.
Kansas
This is
City
an
will-
interesting
That's
one.
pretty low. I
Yeah.
think they're, you know,
Well,
way
you're
they've been
in
playing.
Cincinnati.
the
You're
way
in
Burrow
Cincinnati.
just played this past week, maybe that had something to do with it. But the way Kansas City's rolling and their defense is actually playing a little bit better, I would go Kansas City.
Their defense
Yeah.
has been crazy lately.
But also you got to realize this game's in Kansas City, in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a factor in there too.
I'm going Titans. Dolphins haven't played anybody in this winning streak.
No, they stink.
Obviously, this is pre-Wentz getting hurt, so obviously everybody's taking the Raiders.
Yeah, I'd take the Titans too.
Everybody's taking the Raiders because this was clearly before Wentz.
But Texas is back,
Yeah.
right, Finn?
Texas is perpetually back, but not back.
They're going to the SEC, so it's okay.
15 and a half. Yeah, I'm going to take the
Yeah.
Patriots because Bill Belichick is going
Bill
to
Belichick
absolutely
is
rip
drooling
apart
at the
Trevor
fact.
Lawrence.
Fact of, Trevor Lawrence hasn't thrown a touchdown? Okay, don't worry. We got it.
Trevor Lawrence
Wow.
might throw 5 interceptions.
This is pretty low. 13 and a half, huh, Dave?
Honestly, it should be around 24. I think Tom Brady, like he does every time he plays us, will.
Tom Brady's only playing a half.
Tom Brady makes it personal to make sure that he just stuffs us into a locker every time he plays us. So I would absolutely take the Buccaneers on that line because that is extremely low for what
I
I think.
may travel to New Jersey just to actually gamble on that
Place
line.
that bet.
Tom Brady. Is
Like, here's
terrible.
my life savings. Tampa, do what you got to do.
First off, the Jets can't stop the run, and they can't stop
Fournette's
any
out, right?
screen or any short
Yeah,
pass.
he's been out. But it's Rojo.
The
Listen,
Fournette's
you
out
could
again
have
this week, right?
you can have a paraplegic running the ball. They'll put up 200 yards rushing against us. It
Kenny
just-
Kawaguchi.
Kev, you'll be happy to know the over-under is 45 and a half. That's
I would-
just
I
for
would
the
think
Bucks.
Tampa
That's only
probably
for the
score
Bucks. No, it's not
45
for
and
you
a half
guys.
on their own.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's not
team
for you
total.
guys.
Oh, that's for the
That's just Tampa's total. Yeah.
That should be Tampa's team total.
Take the over. Washington's a
I'm gonna say
disaster
the Eagles.
finally.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles. Going Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lamar's not back yet, is he?
Who's playing quarterback? That's the key. Lamar is questionable. What does that even mean?
I'm taking the Rams anyway, regardless.
I know the
Harbaugh's
Rams
just
just
gonna-
haven't been very impressive these last few weeks.
Someone's
Yeah, I
gotta
would
call
take the
Uncle
Rams.
Terry.
Lamar coming back from injury. He's probably to be a little rusty. Yeah, the Rams.
The Ravens are just gonna keep going for 2-point conversions until it works.
I'm gonna go.
That's too
Chargers on
big.
that.
I'm going Broncos.
I'm gonna go Chargers on that.
The Chargers lost to
going
the
Chargers.
Texans last week.
I know, but Herbert.
That means they're
Broncos-
winning this week.
Yeah,
That gives them the win this week.
it's a division matchup. I'm going Broncos.
See, the next one's actually interesting because no Jimmy G, and you're just gonna have to hope that Trey Lance plays well.
I'm taking the Texans for sure.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans.
I think
They've
I'll
been
take the
playing
Texans
better.
also. What's the number?
14.5.
14 and a half.
Yeah.
I just think I think the Niners end up winning the game, but the Texans are going to pull it off to at least cover.
Ooh, this is a good game.
Arizona at Dallas. Dallas is just rolling right now.
Yeah, I would
they're
take
and they're
that.
home. And they're home.
See, why is
This
that not
game.
flexed? Because the
Right.
Vikings stink. They don't need to keep the Packers with the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Also, I want to go to sleep. So, can we flex
Also,
that?
for the love of God, this game is going to be terrible.
That's
Um,
that
it's
is
gonna
a
be-
terrible game. If it's gonna be Darnold in there, I'm going Saints.
Yeah, but keep in mind Notre Dame is 0 in their last 24.
Well, you know
Starting
what?
quarterback.
Records like that are made to be broken.
Well,
He
is
gets
Trevor
his first
Simeon
win for
going
a
to be
Notre Dame
better?
quarterback this
Listen,
week.
this is the week for Blake Bortles to show up and just dominate.
I can't believe I'm
7.5
saying this.
is a lot. I'm taking the Panthers.
I'm taking the Panthers. I think the Saints' best chance might be Taysom Hill, and I know it's a
But he's hurt. He hurt his
Can
finger.
we get that on record? Again, another clip that we need. Clipped, please. Somebody clip that.
No, he hurt his thumb.
I
He's
thought he
not
had
playing.
COVID.
No, he fucked up his thumb. He's
Oh,
not playing.
Jesus. All right, good.
Trevor
He's staying.
Simeon.
I'm taking the Panthers then. I don't care who's playing quarterback then.
All right, Dev.
Oh, every
Big
part of me
matchup for
wants to
you.
take the Lions. Every part
I'm
of me-
taking him. I'm taking him.
I'm gonna take the Lions. I am.
Fuck the Seahawks.
I am. Every part of me wants to
I
do
think
it.
they
but
cover.
I'm taking the Lions.
They've been playing better
I think they
enough
win.
to cover this game.
I think they win.
Well, 51% of people agree.
Well, you want them to win for that draft pick, so quiet over there.
Yeah, they're gonna win.
All right, Rodgers is
Packers
going to have
cover.
25 points at half, so.
I'll take the Vikings on that.
And
Of course you will.
Browns.
Yo, if
No,
the Vikings,
I don't trust Kirk Cousins as far as you can throw him. I'm taking the Packers.
literally the worst two teams in the AFC North.
God,
playing
what
Monday
a
night.
shitty game. Cleveland and Steelers.
I'm
gonna
going
go
Browns.
Cleveland just because I think Ben Roethlisberger sucks.
Yeah, Cleveland.
I'm gonna have to go Cleveland.
I'm going to go Steelers in this game because the Browns are just stupid. Over-under is 40.5. Going 38.
Yeah, me too.
I'm 38.
That's an under game, I think.
That's a disaster of a sporting event. On the bright side, we do get a Manning cast this week. I believe it's the last one.
Oh, thank God.
So, for those, people who want to actually watch that game.
Oh, that's nice. Eli gets to watch the last.
Well, that
member
was
of the
probably the
trio
plan. They want him to watch.
Well, Rivers has got to
his
be a
last
guest, no?
That
They-
should.
They should. I don't know if they are gonna, but they should.
And then Roethlisberger from the sideline after he gets
Yeah,
hurt, didn't they
done.
put him on there too?
Yeah.
All of them talking together. Or what was the
Alright.
XFL doing? Having the mic on the quarterback while he was playing and asking him questions?
Maybe
Can they do that for this too?
they
You
should.
guys enjoy the rest of your stream. I'm gonna head out
All right,
Enjoy
Dad.
your dinner.
later.
All right, Devin. Thanks.
Night, Devin. Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me. Peace.
Alrighty, boys. It is the end of 2021. All right. So, reflect. Vin's already ready.
2022 glasses ready to go. I bought these at 7-Eleven for $4 and realized that the 2 really doesn't make a good eye hole, and that these glasses are not a good idea. But I bought them anyway.
Did someone just ding into our podcast?
No, it's my dogs.
A ding?
Arr, arr.
No,
The
there's
dogs
no
are
thing.
There's a robot.
Oh, I
dog?
heard a giant ding. It must have been my Alexa.
You got a robot dog?
Yep.
Oh, by the way, if you have an Alexa in your room and you watch any of the South Park COVID episodes, unplug your Alexa.
Oh
That's
boy.
all I'm gonna say.
Oh
They-
boy.
Because they say Alexa about 20 times, and the Alexa in your room just picks it up every time. My Alexa almost ordered something the other day. I was like, wait a minute.
Unbelievable.
All right, 2021 coming to an end. We said reflection and what we're looking forward to in 2022. It doesn't have to be sports related. Who wants to go first?
I'll just continue to grow as a podcast and as a person, I guess. The standard New Year's resolution stuff. Yeah, no, just keep growing, I guess, as a person. That's about it. Nothing earth-shattering, motivating.
No, nothing motivating. I mean, I started a new career in 2021, so that was kind of exciting, and we're
Right.
moving forward in that going forward. But yeah, that's about it. Steve, you got anything inspirational? Any quotes to post for us?
No, just keep going. You know, there's always gonna. If
Just
the
keep
year
swimming?
taught us anything, if the thing just, if the year taught us anything, it's just keep going forward. You know, figure it out. You're gonna figure it out. Like sports just showed us that, right?
It feels
All the
like
sports had to take time off for COVID or make things change things around and all that stuff, and it's just like obstacles come and go. You just got to get through them.
it feels like it's been a 24-month year, and it's probably not going to end anytime soon. So
I like the meme that says when you realize that 2022 is really just 2022.
yeah, 2020 also don't like that at all.
So listen, again, at the end of the day, you know,
Intro roll. I miss intro
at
roll.
the end of the day. Remember when the safeties
yeah,
were good
yeah.
on the team, Danny?
Oh
Remember when
man,
the team was good. and
intro roll
roll?
was so fucking cool. Everybody who went to Miami back in the day was so fucking cool.
Nobody cool comes out of Miami anymore. They're not even playing in their bowl game.
They don't even. Oh wait. Oh, I meant to bring this up on the show. What roster do you think has the most NFL players on it? Like what year college roster?
2001 Miami Hurricanes.
I think it's very close. They were second. I think actually it was 2002 that was the team. The 2017 Bama team that just passed.
That
them,
makes sense.
I think one of the Bama or 2018. One of the Bama teams recently passed them. It was
Well,
like
do you keep
54 guys or something.
Ruggs on that list, or do you take Ruggs off that list?
Well, he's still playing in the NFL, so it
I
counts.
think he played in the NFL, so it counts.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was a played in NFL or
I think the
currently
correct term was drafted, if I'm not mistaken.
okay. That
But
does make
yeah.
sense.
It was like I think it was the 2017 and 2018 team. I forget which one it was.
Alrighty. All right. So yeah, just keep moving forward. We're always looking for cool new things to do with our stream. Anybody can suggest anything, offer us some help with it. We're learning it. We're working on it. Please just help us sharing it and keep promoting it. Yeah, we change the weeks around all the time. We should be getting back to Wednesdays. It looks like the month of January. It's pretty free Wednesday night. We got football playoffs, college football playoffs, even though there's barely any bowl games. It's so weird that like not every channel has a bowl game on right now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, everybody happy, safe new year.
Happy
We'll see
New
you
Year,
guys in
everyone.
2022.